What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Detroit Lions video. Now today I was going through Lions stuff and I came across an article and the writer of the article basically went through NFL free agents or some of the remaining guys and kind of picked out perfect fits for them and like their best positions that they could land in. And the Detroit Lions were the best fit for two players on this list, and those two players were Tony Jefferson, the defensive back from the Baltimore Ravens, and Mark Barron, the linebacker from the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I wanted to go over the two players today, kind of compare them to what we have on the roster, see what they've done recently, see what they've done throughout their career, and kind of see what they would bring to Detroit and why the Lions might want to bring them in. So if you are excited for that, we will get into the video in just a minute, but before we do get into it, if you are new to the channel and are enjoying the content, consider liking the videos and subscribing to the channel. It takes 2 seconds out of your day to make mine, and I would be very, very appreciative to everybody that chooses to do so. And while you're at it, go over to my second channel, Right or Wrong Productions, where we have daily highlight videos of players, teams, and all things football. I really enjoy making those videos, and it seems like people are liking them. So go over there and subscribe. Also, it would make my day, and it takes 2 seconds out of your day to do that. But with that being said, let's get into talk about Tony Jefferson and Mark Barron and their potential fit in Detroit. Now, the first person we will start off with is Tony Jefferson, as this is the person I think is the most realistic out of the two that the Detroit Lions pick up. Now, Tony Jefferson is a 28-year-old safety, formerly of the Arizona Cardinals and the Baltimore Ravens. Now, Tony Jefferson is a versatile safety. Throughout his career, he has 451 total tackles, 8.5 sacks, 8 forced fumbles, 4 fumble recoveries, and 4 interceptions. This guy can really do it all. He's not necessarily elite at everything, but he's good at everything. He can blitz, he can cover, he can, force fumbles. He can recover fumbles. He can cover very well, and he can be a very versatile safety, which is something we know Matt Patricia loves to have. He loves his secondary players. He loves his versatile players, and Tony Jefferson fits the mold for both. Now, Tony Jefferson is coming off an injured season where he only played in 5 games and, had an okay season while he was playing, but was coming off an injured season where he only played in 5 games and had a pretty bad knee injury that ended his season after week 5. So that could be a huge concern for the Detroit Lions, especially with a shortened offseason with no preseason, and obviously it's tougher to get people in for physicals now because of the current pandemic going on in the world. It's not always easy to get these guys in and get their physicals, so if, people, and that's, I think, the big reason he hasn't been signed yet is because, he had a very bad knee injury, and teams can't bring him in to test him. Teams can't bring him in to get a physical and to see how he plays because obviously there are restrictions to that kind of stuff, and it's tough to bring him in and see what he can do. And you don't want to sign a guy that just had a really bad knee injury because he might not be the same. But based on what I've seen from Tony Jefferson in the past, he's a very good safety, very, very good player. And if he can recover from this knee injury, he would be a huge boost to the secondary. Now, you might be asking, why do the Detroit Lions need another safety? We brought in Duron Harmon, we brought in Jaron Kearse, we have Will Harris on his second year, we have Tracy Walker going into his third year. We have a very good and young secondary core, especially at the safety position. So why do we need another guy? Why do we need another body in there to, take snaps, to take spots from guys that are already on the roster? Well, as I already mentioned, Patricia loves his secondary. Patricia loves his cornerbacks. He loves his safeties. That's where he's going to put all of his money, all of his capital is in that secondary, because, that's what he gets from Bill Belichick is in that system. They believe that they can scheme pressure more than they can scheme coverage. So they are going to put all their assets into the secondary. And in Patricia's mind, there's no such thing as too many secondary weapons, no such thing as too many safeties, too many corners, or too many secondary players as a whole. Now, another thing, he's very versatile, as I said. He's good at everything. Not necessarily great at everything, but he has been a very solid safety for the Baltimore Ravens and been a key piece of their secondary for a few years now. And then the last one is, our safeties are unproven very much. I mean, our safeties are pretty unproven. Tracy Walker showed that he is very good last year, but he was injured a couple games. He missed some tackles. He gave up some big plays, which I'm not super concerned about because it's going to happen. But, every once in a while you see him get beat. Will Harris has struggled his rookie season mightily, and I don't think he was necessarily being used 100% correctly because of all the injuries and circumstances. He hasn't shown a ton since that, the preseason last year, and, as a full-time starter in the NFL, or in his time starting in the NFL, he has not been a very good safety, although he has shown some flashes. Duron Harmon and Jaron Kearse are in the same boat, as they've never been full-time starters for an NFL franchise. Jaron Kearse never was a full-time starting safety for the Minnesota Vikings, and Duron Harmon was never a full-time safety for the Patriots. Now, that's not saying that these guys aren't good and they can't do it, but I'm just saying that these guys are unproven. None of these guys, apart from Tracy Walker, have really played in a full season of football, or they've not started every single game. And, that could be concerning, because if you don't have guys that have started NFL games before, what happens if they don't, what happens if they start breaking down after, halfway through the season? What happens if they start playing poorly because they're not used to playing all these snaps and all these, they're not used to playing all this time? Well, that's when you bring in a guy like Tony Jefferson, who's been a full-time starter in the NFL for a very long time, has been very, very healthy throughout his career despite last year's injury. Before that, I believe he only missed one game prior in his entire career. So he's been healthy, he's been available, he's been a starter, and there's never too much competition. That's a thing that I firmly believe in, is you can never have too much competition at a position. I don't care if you have 100 safeties, that's 100 people you got to compete with to be the starter, to be the number one guy. And the more competition, the better your players are going to be. So I think we should bring Tony Jefferson in. I think if he's healthy, if his knee is recovered, if he's shown the same explosiveness and the same, tendencies that he was showing before he got injured, I think he could be a very big add to our secondary, a very big add to our safety core, and just add that much more competition, because he's going to compete. And if he's here, he's probably going to get a roster spot, because he is a very, very talented player, and I think we should bring him in to be competition. Now, moving on to Mark Barron. Mark Barron is a 30-year-old linebacker, formerly of the Buccaneers, the Rams, and the Steelers. He was the 7th overall pick by the Buccaneers when he came out of Alabama, and, he's been okay. I don't think he's quite lived up to that 7th overall pick, because he hasn't been great. He's transitioned from safety to linebacker. He was a safety in college in his first couple years in the NFL, and then he transitioned over to linebacker, where he played that with the Pittsburgh Steelers last season. Now, Mark Barron is a hard-hitting, good coverage linebacker, but I wouldn't say that he's great at anything. I wouldn't say that he's the hardest hitter in the NFL. I wouldn't say that he's the best coverage linebacker in the NFL, but he's definitely solid at both. Now, Mark Barron last year played in 15 games. He had 82 total tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 4 quarterback hits, 3 sacks, 1 interception, 3 passes defended, and 1 fumble recovery. Now, the only question I have, or I guess the question that needs to be asked, is do the Detroit Lions need more linebackers? They brought in Jamie Collins this year, who I love, who, I think is great, but he is only one person, and we run more than one linebacker at a time. So while I think Jamie Collins is great, is going to have a huge impact, he's not the only linebacker out there, and he's not the only linebacker that is going to have to cover people this season. So the Detroit Lions, the last couple of years, have been very bad at the linebacking core, especially in the coverage department. I think Jelani Tavai is solid in coverage. I think Jamie Collins is great in coverage, but I think that, we need more than 2 linebackers that can cover, and Mark Barron can definitely do that. Mark Barron is a good coverage linebacker. Being a former safety, he understands his roles, he understands his coverages, and is very, very good at them. He had an interception last year at the linebacker position, which is something that not a lot of our linebackers can say. So again, kind of the same reasons as Tony Jefferson. This guy is versatile. He can play linebacker. He can play safety if you need, because he played that in college and his early years in the NFL. So we could rotate him around a little bit if we need to. So that's the versatility that Matt Patricia likes. Obviously, the linebacking core has been very weak, and we could always add more depth to that, as we have quite a bit of depth, but not a lot of talent behind the Jamie Collins and Jelani Tavai, or at least a lot of unproven talent, or guys that struggle at certain things. As I said, Jamie Collins is only one player. Like, he is going to be great. He's going to be awesome in Detroit, and he's going to make a lot of plays, but he's only one person. He can't be all over the field. So bringing in another guy to partner with Jamie Collins and Jelani Tavai to be a coverage linebacker, to bring in coverage situations, the deep, the 3rd and 15s, the 3rd and longs, and also a guy that can come up and hit you in the box. Like, that is value, and I think that's something the Detroit Lions have been lacking for a very long time, is a guy that can cover and hit hard in the run support. So I would not be mad if we brought any of these players in. I don't think we will right now. I think that we're pretty set. I don't know how many moves that Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia are looking to make, especially when Tony Jefferson is coming off a very bad knee injury, and Mark Barron, he's kind of older, and the Detroit Lions might not want to sign him just because, he's an older linebacker and he hasn't been great at anything throughout his career. So I don't know if we will sign him. I would definitely be happy with either signing. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, though. Should we sign a Tony Jefferson or Mark Barron? Do you think they're good fits for this defense, and do you think they would have a huge impact like the article suggested? Let me know down in the comments below. As I said, I would sign Tony Jefferson. I'd probably pass on Mark Barron. You know, I think he could bring some coverage, but you know, I think that assets could be. I think those assets. I think that money could be used elsewhere, and I don't think Mark Barron is our biggest need right now. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Should we sign Tony Jefferson? Should we sign Mark Barron? You know, honestly, I wouldn't be mad at both, or I wouldn't be mad at either, but I wouldn't necessarily be rooting 100%, you know, saying we have to get these guys. You know, that's where I stand on it. Where do you guys stand on it? Let me know down in the comments below. But with that being said, that is all I have for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you are new to the channel, as I said, you know, take 2 seconds out of your video to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And while you're at it, go over to my second channel, Right or Wrong Productions, and subscribe to that too. Link to my second channel is down in the description, so go do that too. But with that being said, that's all I have for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If there is Lions news before tomorrow, I'll obviously make a video letting everybody know. Training camp officially starts today, so football is almost back, almost there. But you know, with that being said, that's all I have for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see all of you in the video tomorrow. Bye, guys.